has been around for almost 30 years. But even if you've played every game, watched every episode, and raised entire teams of level 100 shinies, there are still tons of strange, hilarious, and downright unbelievable facts that most fans have never even heard of. Today, we're diving into the lesser known side of Pokemon history. From scrap designs, to hidden references, to the weird quirks the developers never expected fans to discover. This is Random Pokemon Facts You Never Knew. Until now. Before Pokemon became the biggest media franchise on the planet, Game Freak was a tiny studio with almost no budget, just a handful of developers, and a dream built around bugs, childhood memories, and a surprising amount of improvisation. And that's where our first fact begins. Fact 1. Rhydon was the first Pokemon ever created. Not Pikachu, not Charizard, no, Rhydon. It was used for early engine tests, map designs, and battle systems. That's why the statues in early gyms look like Rhydon. The devs used its sprite for placeholder assets, and those placeholders became part of the final game. Cubone's skull was inspired by a manga trope. People love the theory that Cubone wears the skull of its mother, but the real origin came from Japanese manga creature designs where small monsters wore oversized helmets. Game Freak later turned that aesthetic into one of Pokemon's most iconic lore entries. Fact number 3. Coughing and Wheezing's original names were NY and LA. Yeah, they were literally named after polluted US cities. It makes sense. During early localization drafts, this was changed before release, but the early names were 100% real. So I guess that's what Japanese people think about us Americans, huh? Oh well. Now for some design secrets most fans miss. Poliwag's swirl is based on a real tadpole design. That spiral isn't aesthetic, it's modeled after the visible intestines of a real species of tadpole. Game Freak stayed weirdly biologically accurate, which somehow makes Poliwag both cuter and stranger. Wobbuffet's body isn't its real body. The blue blob isn't the Pokemon. The tiny black tail with eyes is believed by designers and fans alike to be its actual true form. The blue part is a decoy or punching bag. Game Freak has never denied the theory, which makes it even more suspicious. Porygon remains the only Pokemon to never appear in the anime again. Not because of anything Porygon did, but because of the infamous Electric Soldier Porygon episode that triggered a nationwide health incident due to Pikachu's flashing attack animation. Pikachu stayed, but Porygon was permanently banned. That's a shame. I think Porygon's pretty cool. Now for some game development facts that feel fake, honestly. The Gen 1 games were basically held together by duct tape. Red and Blue were so buggy that one accidental line of code gave birth to Missing No. Developers have admitted they were shocked the game even worked on Game Boy hardware. The entire franchise nearly started with a crash screen. The international release almost never happened. Nintendo of America originally rejected Pokemon because they believed Americans won't understand trading monsters. It took multiple pitches and a near cancellation before it was finally approved in the West. And boy, I don't know about you, but I'm sure thankful for that. The Safari Zone almost got cut from the game. It required too much map memory, too many unique mechanics, and special coding for bait, rocks, and retreat logic. It was barely finished in the game and could have been lost forever. Thankfully, it remains one of the most memorable times in the older games. Now for some Pokemon with origins stranger than fiction. Psyduck wasn't supposed to be funny. Early concept notes show Psyduck was meant to be a mysterious psychic creature, but animators started drawing it holding its head during production. Kids laughed, so they rewrote Psyduck into a comedic character. I'm thankful because he became one of my favorites because of that. Magikarp was inspired by an ancient Chinese legend. The weak fish becomes a powerful dragon story comes from the myth of the carp that swims up a waterfall and transforms into a dragon known as a rising carp legend. Magikarp to Gyarados is a direct reference. Ditto may be a failed Mew clone. Think about it. Same color, same weight, same genetic transforming abilities, and both appear in places tied to genetic experiments. Game Freak has never officially confirmed it, but the evidence is startlingly strong. How about some wild Pokemon facts that feel made up? Arcanine was almost a legendary Pokemon. In the anime and game design sheets, Arcanine was originally grouped with Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres as a member of the Kanto legendary trio. The idea was scrapped late in development. I still remember that episode with Bill, where Arcanine was portrayed as a legendary in Season 1. The Pokédex lies a lot. Machamp supposedly throws 500 punches per second. Come on, get out of here. Gengar absorbs heat and drops rooms to freezing temps. Alakazam has the IQ of 5,000. These entries were written for drama, not realism. Game Freak has confirmed this multiple times. Some Pokemon cries are reused across generations. Did you know Charizard's original cry is also shared with Aerodactyl, Rhyhorn, and others with pitch and speed adjustments? The Game Boy sound chip had major limitations, so developers got extremely creative. That's just scratching the surface. Pokemon's world is packed with strange history, hidden references, canceled ideas, and facts that make the franchise even more fascinating than what you see on the surface. If you want a part 2 or a deep dive into things like scrapped Pokemon designs, the darkest Pokédex entries, or secrets hidden in the code of Gen 1, just let me know. Thank you so much for watching, Poke People, and until next time, take care. Peace out.